Life had been really good. I mean, my dad died a few months before we got married, which was really hard, but we made it through that, and we lived in Nashville, and I was working there, and got pregnant with Grace. We moved to Louisville, Kentucky. She was born there. Fred's company got purchased. We moved to Atlanta and mercifully moved to Birmingham. Fred had started his job in Birmingham in September of 2000. We came, the girls and I, actually at the very end of October, our first night there, we came to the Fall Festival at Liberty Park, and I met Olita, and she was so sweet, and we were just waiting on our house to get done. The house was done. We moved in at the end of March. That Sunday was Mother's Day. It was a beautiful day. I remember that. We had just gotten a swing set for the girls in the backyard, and for Mother's Day, I had given a list to Fred of things to do around the house. He was busy doing that. I was out on the swing set with the kids. I remember swinging. It was such a gorgeous day. And I was getting ready for my mother's wedding that was coming up. It was supposed to be at the beginning of June, and I was going to be her maid of honor. And that night I was on the phone with my sister talking about the wedding, and then I got this headache that was unlike anything I had ever experienced.
Trinity Hospital, and so we went there in the middle of the night and waited. They did a CAT scan, and it showed that there was bleeding, and we waited on the neurosurgeon to show up in the middle of the night. And the next morning I went back to the hospital. I came home to be there when the kids woke up, and my brother was there, and they called and said, please come down. They're wanting to do some arteriogram. We're going to get started. I get there. Rayni's in the hallway quizzing the poor resident on how many arteriograms he'd ever done, and did he have any experience doing this. And Rayni had the first surgery on that day. And before the surgery occurred, the doctor explained that there's really two conditions that could occur after this, after such a surgery. One's vasospasms, and the other is hydrocephalus, and we would deal with those if they came about. But she had the surgery that day. She got out of recovery and actually phoned home and left a message on our home answering machine for the girls, and was doing fairly well. And probably not the next day, but the day after that, the vasospasms, which is a shrinking of blood vessels in the brain, sort of in reaction to being operated on or having a bleed, occurred, and she went into a coma. And she was in that for a little over a week. No response, no wiggling of toes, no movement of the eyes, nothing. And she was that way for about a week, and then she came out of it.
I remember waking up. I knew who I was. I remembered my husband and my children, but I didn't know where I was or what had happened or why I couldn't talk or why I couldn't move my legs or why I couldn't really do anything. God did not do this to me. He did not give me the aneurysm, but he knew it was going to happen, and he set everything into motion and prepared everything for us that we could get through it.
The Wednesday night prayer service, here you had this lady whose kids are in Liberty Park and Liberty Pals, and nobody knew us, but we were prayed for every day.
I believe that God protected me I never laid in the bed and thought, I'm never going to walk again. That the thought of never walking again never crossed my mind. We were just visiting Liberty Park Baptist Church, and you would have thought that we had grown up in Woodlawn Baptist Church the way that the church took care of us. The Sunday school class that we had been visiting, I think they came and cut the grass for you. They brought food to Fred's brother when when I was, in the ICU, I was told, and then once I got home, they fed us for 8 weeks, because I still was not, I went home in a wheelchair, and I wasn't able to do a whole lot. And, the church just loved on us, and we were like, well, this is where we need to be. We got involved with Awana, and what a reward to be part of that program and watch those little kids learn their Bible verses.
You think you have control of your life, but you really don't. Just leave it to God to control. And why not let the person that can do it all perfectly be in charge? And we should just don't kid ourselves that we have that much to do with anything. If you're down, you're not alone. If things are going well, really look and see how much of that's your effort as opposed to God's being in control. We look back on this time, and it was a huge event. It was only an instant in our day and in our lives, and so much has happened since then. We got kids in middle school and high school, and they were almost 5 and almost 2 at the time.
Working through learning how to walk and talk and eat again and write. I will never leave you nor forsake you. You just cling to that, and you're like, okay, God is right here helping me every baby step of the way. And they were literally baby steps.